Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. Got a couple of guests for you today. As always, we're going to have irrelevant questions. That's going to be with Jaylinn Hawkins. But first, you're going to hear from Jay Morrison from Sports Illustrated, who covers the Cincinnati Bengals. Jay caught my eye as I was doing Bengals research this week. You know why? Because he was funny as hell, pointing out the ineptitude of the Bengals defense. He wrote earlier this week, lost in the fact that the Bengals gave up at least 27 points in their ninth straight game to tie the NFL record, and the fact that they put out another feature-length teach tape on how to not to pursue ball carriers and how not to try to tackle them, and the fact that three of them got the man versus boys treatment on the same play, there were actually a few positives. He also added about the 3-7 Bengals, Jay did. The NFL average for converting on third down and 10 or longer coming into week 11 was 19.4%. The Bengals ranked next to last in the league in that category, allowing teams to convert 30% of the time, 6 of 20. 6 times in 9 games, 3 times Sunday alone. 3 times in one game is tied for the most this year. So the Patriots are facing the Bengals, who have set an NFL record by allowing 14 points in the fourth quarter for a 5th consecutive game, breaking the mark of 4 shared by 8 teams, 3 of which did it prior to the Super Bowl era. You know, for us writers, you'd rather the team be good than bad. But if it's bad, it isn't bad if it's horrible, because there's just a whole lot of artillery. So the Bengals, Patriots formerly were bad. The Bengals have a bad team right now. So we're going to bring in our guy, Jay Morrison, to talk about the Bengals, the matchup coming up, whether they're a cautionary tale at all. Could the Patriots be stunned on the road after 8 straight wins in their bye week just around the corner? So stay tuned for Jay. Then we'll have some Jaylinn Hawkins. All right, here's our guy, Jay Morrison, BengalsTalk.com, through the Sports Illustrated Network. Thanks for joining, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Tom.
All right, let's cut to the chase, because this week there is uncertainty at the quarterback position.
Yep.
What's your best guess as to who's going to be under center on Sunday for the Bengals?
I think there's only one guy that really knows the answer to that, and it's not Joe Burrow. It's Joe Flacco. And that's because he suffered a shoulder injury a few weeks ago against New York, played through a lot against Chicago, and throws for 470 yards, career high, 4 touchdowns. Then he gets the bye week, and he came back last week feeling pretty good. Early in the second quarter, TJ Watt, first shot he got, just drove him into the ground, the kind of hit you don't see anymore. Everyone knows it's going to be a penalty. Everyone knows it's going to be a fine. And I think that has kind of sped up the Bengals thinking. When Burrow came back last week, Jay Glazer had the report that he was eyeing the Thanksgiving game to come back.
Yes.
And the Bengals, everybody in the Bengals organization kind of pushed back and said, "No, that's a little too soon. We're, probably thinking more of the Buffalo game after Thanksgiving." So the fact that they're even considering right now, I don't think that Burrow's made incredible progress. He was feeling good as it was. He was looking good throwing the ball. I think this is all about Joe Flacco's shoulder and where that is, because if you don't go with Flacco and Burrow's not ready, you're going back to Jake Browning, and that was a disaster for 3 games earlier this year. That's the reason they traded for Flacco. So today at practice, we will see how much Flacco can do, how much pain tolerance he can handle. And I think that's what Sunday's going to come down to. If Flacco can go, I think it's going to be Flacco. But if he's going to be compromised, then I think they do. I think we see Joe Burrow out there.
How has the Flacco experience been?
Amazing.
I was watching his press conference yesterday where he talked about T. Higgins at length, and then his discussion about the cars that he's had through the years and why he would never have a fast one. And I'm like, this guy must be a blast.
Oh, he's been amazing. Just, when he first got here, that first week, his head's got to be swimming trying to learn the offense. And sometimes those quarterbacks get in those press conferences, you can see their eyes looking up at the clock. Like, he never seems rushed. He gives long answers. He gives really thought out answers. He's had some really interesting anecdotes. It's really been a joy to cover him. And, he's a guy too. He'll sit there and talk for 25 minutes at the podium, then go in the locker, and then reporters will go up and try to get, something that they didn't want to ask in front of everybody. And he's very accommodating. And the play on the field has really rejuvenated this team. I mean, it was going nowhere, and he's at least given them a little bit of hope.
Do they have hope? That, I guess, is the big question going into Sunday. if you think you have hope, then you might want to put Joe Burrow on the field and not feel bad about it instead of saying we're going to put Jake Browning out there.
Yeah, I think they do still have hope. I don't know how realistic it is. It feels like this whole team has been built on hope. I mean, the way they constructed this roster and this defense, it never really stood a chance, and it's playing out that way. But it's an organization. We've seen this in the past. Trade deadline, 2019, Zach's first year, trade deadline. Everybody's calling about AJ Green. Everybody's calling about Geno Atkins, and the Bengals were like, no, they just will not punt on seasons. They will try to win every single game, how unrealistic it might be. So I think that's the organization's mindset. They did it last year. They went on this incredible run, and they win 5 straight to end the year, and they go 9-8, and they finish just outside of the playoffs. I think they can do it again. I think they can
So
rip off.
useless.
It
It's
is.
so useless to win those. Like Miami did it last year. You're just taking
Yeah.
a bad team and dropping draft position. And I know
Yeah.
nobody wants to see a tanking team except for some
Right.
fans. But it's so funny when they go on these jags at the end of the year. Like the Patriots won the final game of the year. They still got Will Campbell, but they
Mhm.
didn't need to go do that. Jay, why do they stink so bad on defense?
The poor drafting, poor roster construction. I mean, you could see it coming a mile away. They went into this offseason with a glaring need at safety, and they didn't sign one in free agency, and they didn't draft one, and they asked their starter to take a pay cut. It makes no, and he did. Geno Stone, he did take a pay cut. Um, they have spent 10 top 100 draft picks on defensive guys. I mean, you get Joe Burrow, you get T Higgins, you get Jamar Chase. You're like, okay, we're good on offense. Let's really lean into the defense. And they're spending high quality picks on these defensive guys, and they just haven't been able to develop them into reliable starters. It's the reason Lou Anarumo, last year's defensive coordinator, it was been here the entire time with Zach. He's not here anymore. He didn't forget how to coach. It was just it was getting stale, and he wasn't developing the young players. And Al Golden, they bring him in from Notre Dame. He previously worked here in Cincinnati as a linebackers coach during the Super Bowl year, and he's kind of got a reputation for developing young guys. But I don't know if these guys could be developed. And it's just been so bad. And you've got 2 rookie linebackers that are leading the league in missed tackles. You got 2 safeties that are leading the league in missed tackles. I mean, like the top 8 guys in the league on missed tackles, 4 of them are Bengals. It's just teams know they don't have to be explosive. You just throw underneath tight ends, running backs, get guys in space, and the Bengals are going to take bad angles. They're going to miss tackles, and you can just move the ball down the field. And we see it over and over again.
How frustrating is it for fans and for media and probably for the organization to have a team that was in the Super Bowl, had a
Mm-hmm.
lead, and now 3 years later to be the butt of jokes when you still have one of the 5 certainly best quarterbacks in the league and 2 of the best receivers, certainly top 10 between the 2 of them, maybe top 15 if you want to expand it for Higgins, whatever. But
Yeah.
just to have that kind of artillery and to know that you're just a horrible football team, it must be people must be just crestfallen.
Yeah, it's almost worth, in the 90s, they were the word. They had losing records every year, the Dave Shula
The Klingler
experience.
years.
Yes. And that was just kind of expected. You just knew they were going to be bad. And this has been different. It wasn't just the Super Bowl year. They come back the following year. They go to the AFC Championship game. It's a
Right.
game-winning field goal at the end of the game because of a personal foul penalty out of bounds. And then, the following year, they're starting to hit their stride, and Burrow injures his wrist, and then he injures his calf. And it's just it's been one thing after another with Burrow, and that's been a big part of it. But you can't even use that as an excuse this year because Flacco's played. Burrow couldn't have played any better than Flacco played in his first 4 starts with this team. So it is frustrating, and especially it's not as though injuries have come out of nowhere and derailed this defense. Everybody saw it. It wasn't just safety; it was linebackers, defensive tackle. They knew they needed these pieces to add to this defense, and they just didn't do it. They spent the money on Trey Hendrickson, and now he's been out since the Jets game. Doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. Certainly not Sunday against the Patriots. So it's just there's no pass rush, there's no tackling. It's a disaster, and they are on pace. No team in NFL history has finished last in passing yards allowed, rushing yards allowed, and points allowed, and they are 32nd, 32nd, and 31st in those 3 categories right now. That's about as bad as it gets.
They're not putting that in the game notes. I know they're not. Where
No, I
did you
went and
find
found that myself.
See what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
turn into super sleuths. You give us a bad team, we're like
Yeah.
Encyclopedia Brown. How bad are they?
Yeah.
So imagine the time he spent having to go back to the 20s. And on top of all that, you have the best player on the team decide to spit on an opponent.
Yeah.
And
Bad.
I don't care. I don't care what happened earlier. I don't care what was said. When you do that, you're just saying, I don't care what the consequences are. I don't care about everybody else. I'm going to spit and then I'm going to lie about it. It just seemed really low level behavior. What's your take on it? Am I wrong to look at Jamar Chase and say, I don't think I'm going to forget about him spitting on a guy and then lying about it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is, and it's a shame because it is really out of character for him. He has been really good. I mean, he's had moments on the field. He's just a super emotional, intense competitor, and he blew up at a referee and got fined for verbally abusing a referee, and he's had moments like that. But something like this is just totally out of character for him. Especially everybody's been raving about. He gets named a captain for the first time this year. He's really showing maturity and leadership, and I just I don't know. I think this is something that's going to follow him the rest of his career. It's just one of those things. It's a stain that you can't wipe off. And the thing is, you do something on an NFL football field, cameras are going to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I don't know that this happened, but they get in the locker room after the game and nobody's talking about it. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Ramsey says he spit on me in the locker. So that the Bengals reporters start seeing that on their phones. They ask Jamar about it, and he's like, "Well, no videos come out or anything. He's going to deny it." And there was one local Cincinnati TV station that got it. The game broadcast didn't have it. Nobody else had it, and that comes out after Jamar had already done his interview. And so it's just a really bad look to lie about it. He declined comment Monday, which I guess I'm okay with. A suspension's probably coming. You probably don't want to say anything until the league rules. Um, and that now that he's suspended, he can't be in the facility. So I think the earliest we're going to get to talk to him to see if he's going to offer an apology will be either next Monday or next Tuesday. But it's a shame because he is a really conscientious, good,
Mm-hmm.
just everything you want in a leader.
Yeah,
But
see that's the thing. That's the insight you don't get from the outside in. So what do I know about Jamar Chase? He's an absolute weapon. You can throw him the ball. He's changes games. He smiles at his locker. He seems like a good guy. But do I know that, or is that the put on? But when we talk to somebody who deals with him, and they can say that that's out of character as opposed to, yeah, didn't surprise me.
yeah, and I think too, you look at the maturity and the leadership there early, because you said you don't care what happened earlier, and that's the right take. But he took a really late high hit from Jalen Ramsey early in that game,
Yeah.
and I thought something was going to happen right when that happened, and he just got up and went back to didn't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
So that he kind of showed his maturity there. But Jalen Ramsey has a way of getting under people's skin, and he did. And it was three straight plays that led to that. They came together on one play, nothing happened. They came together on the next play. They both got 15-yard penalties, and then the third play they do it again, and then that's when the spit happened.
Yeah. See, the thing is, we had a long discussion on a TV show yesterday about the spit, and I said you have to do this because someone's like, so $500,000 for spitting on a guy who's kind of a dink. I'm
Hmm.
like, you got to get spitting out of the game.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, in the past it hasn't been. Sorry to mock the voice, Mike. Uh, but it's like, you know what? Nip it in the bud. Is
yeah.
if Barney Fife said, nip it in the bud, nip it in the bud. Um, Last question. And I know this is tough because you're in Cincinnati and you're going to cover that football team. You've watched what Drake May is doing this year. If you were starting a team, I'm not going to say either or because that'll get you in trouble. Would you take Drake May to start your football team over any other young quarterback in the league? And that includes the young ones who are under 30.
um. Well, Burrow's still under 30. I don't
That's
know.
why
It's
I included him.
because it's the Patriots are living that life right now. Where
Yes.
look at what they were able to do in free agency and defense. It's the same thing the Bengals did. They went and spent big in free agency in 2021 and in 20, and that's what helped get them to the Super Bowl. When you've got that quarterback on a rookie deal, it just makes everything around them. I don't want to denigrate Drake May. I think he's playing amazing. I think he's really got a shot to be the MVP. But I'd have to think about that if I would want him. I would certainly take him over Caleb Williams. Any of the quarterbacks that have come out the last couple of years, yes. But some of those guys that are like 28, 29 on their second contract, I'm not sure I would put him over them just yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically Burrow, Allen.
Hmm.
I don't, you probably take him over Darnold. You've already been.
Oh, yeah.
You've already got scars from him. But there's very few. It's Burrow, Allen. You'd take him over, maybe Jaden Daniels. But the reason I wouldn't take Jaden Daniels is the same reason I wouldn't take Burrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, how long till he breaks?
Mm-hmm.
But so knock on wood, the kid doesn't get hurt. Knock on wood, nobody gets hurt. Knock on wood that everyone's safe coming to see you in Cincinnati this weekend, Jay.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you in the press box.
Hey, thanks. I'm a studio guy. They don't even let me go on the road anymore. I'll see you at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Hey, thanks so much for your time. Take care, Jay.
All right, thanks, Tom.
All right, that was awesome. Really enjoyed that. I should do more of that, huh? Give Phil the day off and have in the opposing writer on a Thursday. As long as it's somebody like Jay. As long as it's someone like Jay. Jay was funny, insightful, and the numbers that he has uncovered, that was hysterical. No team in the Super Bowl era. All right. Meanwhile, here's Zach Taylor talking about Drake May, who he has to deal with on Sunday.
I think he's done a great job. 4-1 touchdown to interception is really impressive, considering he's in his second year, new coaching staff. All that stuff you factor in. I think he's done an excellent job leading the team to 8 straight wins. I think it's just been really impressive, and he's a tough challenge. When a guy's taking care of the football like that, completing balls at a high rate like he is, 20 touchdowns, 5, he can make plays with his feet as well. So he's really impressive and a difficult challenge for the guys.
So bearing in mind what we have seen from Drake May, bearing in mind what Jay has told us about the Bengals defense, what do you think the Patriots are going to try to do on Sunday? They're going to try and feast. I would look at this game as if they're susceptible to underneath throws, then you're going to see some Demario Douglas. You're going to see some Stephon Diggs. Kayshon Boutte, who is most likely was a full participant on Wednesday. He's trending well. But they suck at stopping the run, too. So good week for the Patriots to continue their momentum offensively. What are you concerned about? Offensively, really nothing. Oh, just that waiting for the egg to be laid at some point. It doesn't seem like a likely candidate to extract the egg from the Patriots either offensively because of the numbers that we have talked about and the lack of explosiveness and the fact that their best defensive player is out and the fact that their best offensive player is out. Really fascinating to just see. And look, schedule's a schedule. You don't have Garrett Wilson when you play the Jets. Sorry. You don't have Quinnen Williams either. You don't have, who else they trade? Oh, Sauce. You don't have Sauce. Sorry. Everything's coming up Patriots. Meanwhile, if things are going to keep coming up Patriots, well, according to Dan Orlovsky from ESPN, who I like, Patriots got to get out of nickel a little bit more often. And here is the quote from Dan Orlovsky. Did not get permission to use the clip, so I transcribed. You're in nickel too much on defense for me in 2025. I can't allow you to play safe defense and still have success. They're in nickel every single snap. In an era of tight ends, ... because he puts in some stuff. Quote, in 2025, the year of tight ends and smash mouth football playing under center, if I'm Indy and I don't run it at you 40 times, shame on me. If I'm Buffalo and I don't run it at you 40 times, shame on me. Mentions the same thing about the Chargers in Baltimore and concludes by saying, great as the New England story has been, if they think they're going to be allowed to line up and play 5 defensive backs in a win or go home game, it'll be an early exit. I like it. I like a take. I like a take from an informed person, too. Now, do you want to push back? I'm sure you do. Because you can prove them wrong by saying the Patriots are the number 1 defense in the league in yards per game rushing allowed. You can also point out that there hasn't been a single starting back to run for over 50 yards against them. I think Josh Allen ran for over 50. Anyway, a running back hasn't crested 50 yet. So if you think that the Patriots are going to get smash-mouthed by James Cook, who they held under 50, or Jonathan Taylor, who they haven't seen yet, well, you got another think coming. Folks, is it another thing coming or another think coming? If you think ... then you have another think coming. Or if you think, then you have another thing coming. Inconclusive. But I do respect his opinion. Dan's, I mean. And it does make me wonder, are they going to have to address that? We're going to get a close-up look at the Patriots' sans Milton Williams this week. Now, they're not really in a position. Samaje Perine, running back, he is still working his way back from injury for Cincinnati. They are not, they're a throwing team. They're a group of throwing guys over there. So we will see what happens there. Speaking of throwing, and Jay Morrison mentioned the prolific work done by Flacco. 5 games he's been in Cincy. He's 135 for 213 for 1453. That's in 5 games. So 5 into 1453 goes almost 300. So he's averaging almost 300 yards a game, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks, 63% completion percentage. Good player. Good player. And just for entertainment purposes, I wanted to include that tar audio as he's discussing T. Higgins.
Well, I think you probably see a taller guy that, runs decent. You just assume he could probably go up for the ball and run down the sideline and do those kind of things. But I think just throwing slants to him and just, little things. I don't know what he ran in his 40, but when he gets the ball in his hand and the speed that he's able to keep kind of throughout his routes and when the ball's in the air, through the catch point, he looks like he's just moving. He's got that speed to him. I've thrown a couple crossing routes to him in practice that I'm just like, whoa.
All right, so Patriots are going to be at Cincinnati this weekend. Make sure you catch us on pregame live, halftime live, postgame live. You got all the preview you need there. I think, injuries are an issue. Stevenson should be back. Booty will be back. Obviously, Milton Williams is out. Christian Ellis will be back. This should be a win for the Patriots. Let's not overcomplicate things and just filibuster for no damn reason. They should win this game. Then they have a game against the New York Giants on a Monday night, so they get another little layoff between Sunday and Monday. So they have been thrashed by their schedule. Thrashed. But they have emerged from it physically as stable as you could possibly hope. Knocking on wood for Patriots fans. I'm not a rooter, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt. One more game, then you get a break, and then you can strap it in for the stretch run. You guys strap in and have a nice weekend. I'm playing golf on Friday. You know what? I'll bore your asses for a quick second, too. I went to Golf Tech like a year and a half ago, and they gave me a simple plan for fixing myself. Now, it was not inexpensive. 15 visits for like $1,200, half an hour, but they put everything on video, and it's always on video. So I finally referred back to it after I wasn't able to get off the tee. And the bottom line is, if you don't want to drop your hands in your swing, if you don't want to drop them and you want your first move to be out and toward the ball, well, just be consigned to the fact that you're going to be sketchy off the tee. Okay? Sketchy. And you're going to have some really bad rounds. If you want to drop your hands, I'm not promising you that your handicap's going to drop, but you're going to have less chaos and you're going to hit more golf balls the way they're supposed to look. So I'm looking forward to dropping my hands because I did it yesterday after looking back at the Golf Tech stuff because I was sick to my stomach. And I'm in the sim last night because I'm fortunate enough at this stage of my life, I was able to invest and put one in my garage. It's not high end. It's not a $60,000 operation. It's not inexpensive, but it's, I'm hitting some missiles. The lower you drop your hands, the faster you'll swing. The faster you swing, the further it goes. The quicker you drop your hands straight down your body, like Dustin Johnson, which is always the video they would match me up with. Here's Dustin Johnson. Here's you. Then you'll start to hit it. Well, not like Dustin Johnson, but better. Just so you know, I'm not full of crap. I don't hit it like this all the time, but there's the stats on the last drive of the night. I'm not usually over 100. Ball speed is certainly not that, and I certainly don't have that total length on a regular basis. I am a low ball hitter, okay? And I strive to hit a draw. That's what my ideal is, but that's just squared up from dropping your hands. Just drop your hands. So I'll report back, tell you how the golf goes tomorrow, and then I'll tell you how the golf goes on Saturday. I also went to Charleston last week. This is the shit you guys have to put up with before Jaylinn Hawkins. Charleston last week to visit Dan Curran and his fiancee, Hannah. And they live in Johns Island. They moved down there. Danny did. left his job up here. I think at some point maybe they'll hope to resettle back up here, but that's their business, not mine, nor yours. So I shouldn't be sharing that. However, I went to an unbelievable restaurant down there called Palato with a P. Oh my God. Great Italian restaurant. And I'm not getting anything back, but I told the guy on the way out I would mention it because it was really friggin' good. Speaking of which, my stomach just growled. All right, here's Jaylinn Hawkins. Thanks to him. Hey, what's up, everybody? Look who I got here. It's Jaylinn Hawkins, Patriots safety. He wears number 21, just like Malcolm Butler did. Malcolm Butler made a memorable play in the Super Bowl. You ready for that, too?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
then.
I mean, yeah.
That's a lot to put on
It's
your
a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm ready for it. God willing, we go to the Super Bowl. But that's what we're working towards. Yeah.
And then when you get there, boom. Who's your funniest teammate and why?
Ooh, this is tough. Funniest teammate. That boy right there, Pop. Pop is funny. He's very funny. Pop is funny.
Yeah, let's stick with Pop. Very amusing fella. Bear with me now. I think that the stiff upper lip nod is the most expressive and simple, concise way to say hello universally. Let me just show you.
Yeah, show me that. Okay.
Do you give that sometimes?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
It conveys everything you need.
Yeah, it makes it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you. That's all.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Hands down, no hesitation.
Yeah, blue. Blue.
Any shade of blue? Because I kind of like this Arctic blue.
I know I like this Arctic blue too, but just really any shade of blue.
You're from Panama. How old were you when you moved here from Panama? And what?
I'm not from Panama.
All right, we just had to take a quick break because I used Wikipedia, which said that Jaylinn was Panamanian.
From Buena Park, California, but I am Panamanian.
Buena Park Spiders.
The school said, yes.
All right, so now I have to just retread all these questions I had about the Panama Canal. Do you still have family there?
I got family there, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I got family there.
Have you been down to visit?
No, this offseason I'm planning on going
Are you
down
serious?
there. Yeah, for real.
Okay, because I did read a book. It's called Path Between the Seas by David McCullough.
Okay.
Unbelievable book talking about the building of the Panama Canal. Okay. Nobody needs to know that. Now this is Irrelevant Questions with Jaylinn Hawkins, and it's Tom just babbling. Do you tap your credit card or do you insert it?
Ooh, tap.
You're a tapper.
Yeah, I'm a tapper.
Do you ever get frustrated that it doesn't tap correctly and you say, screw it, I'll just insert it?
If it doesn't tap, then I'm going to insert it. And if it doesn't insert, then I'm going to call the bank. Because something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Fill in the blank. A person who drives their car for more than 10 minutes while listening to nothing at all is?
Is a calm person, peaceful person.
Not a psycho?
I don't think they're psycho. I do that sometimes.
You catch yourself and you're like, why don't I listen to music?
Yeah, sometimes you just need to decompress.
You went to Cal.
Yes.
What you liked about Cal Berkeley?
I just love the area. You know what I'm saying? I love the area, the people. People are different, and just the football program.
There's an eclectic mix out there.
It's a crazy mix. Again, you don't know what you're going to get out in Cal. But it's a cool place, very unique, true to itself, so I love it.
How quickly did you adjust to New England coming out here and coming up from Atlanta where you were drafted?
It was an adjustment, though, but it was cool, though, because, New England has a lot to offer. I said the weather, though, that was an adjustment for me. I've never been in this cold, but I'm adjusted now, so it's cool.
And we're getting into that weather now where you walk out and each shoulders just go.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to get out of this. You can make some absurd catches. That pick that you had earlier this season, the one-hander, you pulled that in. You had another one in college, which was ridiculous. Did you play receiver in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Were you a threat?
I was for sure a threat. Come on, man. Tell my boy. You got people like that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's a non-believer, but I'll turn them into believers. But yeah, I played in high school.
Would you play flag football for Team USA if you had the opportunity? Also understanding that all those guys who were on Team USA flag football previously, they're going to want to play, so you'd have all due respect, I'm sure, for them. That's me editorializing. But would you try out for the flag football team?
Yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's super dope. Why not? I'll try it.
Yeah, because you do have pride in the United States of America. I noticed that because this week is My Cause, My Cleats. And you got a nice pair of cleats set up. Explain to us, if you could, Everything about what?
It's for the United States. It's an organization called United Sports Abroad. It's about my boy Grayson and his dad. It's representing, kids across different countries whose parents are stationed in different countries who want to continue the sport of football or continue other sports that are not really in those other countries. So this is what I'm representing, and so I like their cause and I'm supporting it.
Awesome. Hey,
Sure.
well, thank you. Oh, whoa, I almost forgot. Hey, what's your number? You wear number 21?
I'll do it
Would that
21.
be the number that you would wear if you could wear any number at all?
Yes.
Why?
It's special to me. It started when I was a younger kid. My uncle wore it. That was somebody I really looked up to growing up. Really while I started playing football, and I always went to all of his games as a kid, and I would always see him at 21. And then that number I just liked it. And I was like, yeah, that's gonna be my number. And I wore it throughout Pop Warner and
He played till JUCO. And you
played till
went to all the
JUCO.
games.
Yes,
So was he your inspiration to play?
for sure.
Excellent. Hey, we had a good time. Thank you so much. for your
Appreciate
time.
you, man.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.